What's going on, guys? This is Coach White. Today we are sitting down with the one and only Roberto Smaldino. Ooh, Roberto, yeah? Yeah, he's in the hot seat, so you guys get a chance to know him real quick, real fast. All right, you ready?
As good as I'm gonna be.
As it's gonna be. All right, cool. So, favorite food? I mean, I'm not gonna throw it out there.
It's pizza, guys. It's pizza. It is.
All right,
it's
cool.
everything you guys think.
Yeah, everything you thought it would be. Good. Toppings.
Oh, I'm a pepperoni and sausage guy.
Pepperoni and
sausage.
sausage.
Pepperoni sausage. Any of the meats, truly.
Any of the meats, throw them on. I'm ready.
Chicken, bacon.
Good. Okay, cool. And pepperoncinis or no? Or just, okay, why not? Yeah, all right. Onions?
Yeah.
Anything but olives.
Yeah, olives, mushrooms, no go. That's really where I kind of draw the line.
That's where you draw the line.
Pineapples can go on it. It's okay.
wow.
It's allowed.
Okay.
Anchovies, no. But
Okay. Well, I mean, you got limits. Everybody has a line. Okay, so pizza would be the favorite food. What would you say is your go-to sweet treat dessert?
Sweet treat dessert. I'm a chocolate chip cookie guy.
Chocolate chip cookie over everything else. No ice cream, no chocolate milk, no fruit roll-up, no.
I mean, I'm not saying no to those.
Yeah. You just
They're saying if that's like bread and butter, probably heading there.
All right, cool, good. And let's say you went on vacation, you were gone for a year, i.e. prison stint. I'm kidding. I know, like what? Yeah, I mean, that happens. You come back to Columbus. Where do you got to go eat?
Shoot.
Yeah, don't worry, we won't edit that out.
Okay, where do I go to eat? That's a tough one, man. I'm not gonna know that one right off the grip.
No? All right, well, maybe like one of your top 1 of 5 places.
I'm definitely gonna hit Condado.
Okay.
That's a Columbus favorite for sure.
Okay.
I feel like everything I'm about to say is gonna be like around Mexican food because local cantina's up there too.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. All right. Cool. We'll draw the line there. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, those are probably a good top
in
10.
that sphere of Latin American food. Got it. Okay, cool. So then you start thinking about that. So what is your favorite way of training?
Oh wow, what a segue.
Yeah.
Favorite way of training? I like training like an athlete. I like training my athletes the way I like to train.
Okay. So what does that look like?
Cool. I mean, truly, there's going to be a plyometric side to anything that I end up doing just because being an explosive athlete's basically all that I have. I'm not the strongest guy in the gym. I'm not the fastest guy in the gym, but I kind of pride myself at being good at a lot of things and not amazing at one. Cool. So plyometric training is going to be something I'm usually doing. Some kind of strength and conditioning program is something I'm going to be doing all the time.
Nice. What would you say is your least favorite way of training?
I don't really like cardio. I'm built for it, but I hate it. Yeah. I ran cross country in high school because I was hurt for other sports. Yeah. And everyone on my team was like, there were like 3 kids on my team that were like, we love running and that's why we do it. Everyone else was like, we're just good at it.
We're just good at it, yeah.
We don't want to do it, but we do. And I was one of those people. I was like, I keep getting this hurt and these hurt, and so I'm like, what can I do in the off season? Coach is like, run track or something. I don't know. So, So I'm built for it, but hate it.
Yeah, nice. So when you start thinking about the things that you are training or learning, what have you been the most interested in or intrigued by in terms of training or learning for yourself lately?
Learning for myself lately is working on like asymmetries. I think a lot of what we end up doing is a lot of bilateral movements when we're training in the gym, or at least the average Joe Schmo off the street will like to do deadlifts, squats, bar, And so getting into stuff where it's unilaterally loaded or even just unilateral movements are something that's really intriguing me because it kind of shows off exactly where your biggest deficiencies are. And it's kind of, the cool thing I think about it is that you might feel like a site of like pain or tightness or soreness and you immediately go to that site for the solution, but it may not even be remotely close to that. Yeah. And not only in my own experience, but in a lot of my clients' experiences, it's very similar. So one of the things I've been doing right now, I'm actually working on programming 6 weeks of just unilateral training. Every single one of my exercises is unilateral. Oh, yeah. Just to focus on that, to see what exactly I need to be working on in the following 6 weeks.
Nice, good. And what would you say, like you start thinking about that sort of information as it applies to the client, what do you enjoy most about training or coaching?
I think it's the challenge of kind of like figuring out what it is. How can I be the most beneficial with what's in front of me? Yeah. Not only like the person that's in front of me, but the amount of time that we have to be working on whatever we need to do. And then trying to figure out exactly like what that black swan is, like the things that we don't know that are kind of behind the scenes. I want to work on this. Okay, why are we working on this? Well, I want to get better at this. Or not even so much like the client not necessarily knowing their own goal, but not knowing that there's a step to get to before they get to that goal. And being able to bridge that gap is probably one of my favorite things about coaching.
Nice. And when you start thinking about small wins or big wins, what are some of the wins that you feel like you have had or that you feel like a client has had that recently that like really stood out that you were really excited about?
At the risk of sounding cliche, I don't think there's small wins.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like a name of someone specific, but just something, yeah.
The answer to that, I don't think that there's any win that should be glossed over as a small winner.
Okay.
But here nor there, I think a lot of the athletes have been really surprising the absolute hell out of me recently. I mean, them going from, even if it's not an actual like, oh, they did this weight, but like getting to a point where you get a kid who doesn't really know how to run or land or jump well to being able to do something as explosive as like a kettlebell swing with really good form, or like teaching a young athlete how to do a hang clean when they're in grade school only is going to translate to them whenever they're in college. The kids that aren't doing that in high school are vastly behind the 8 ball. Yeah. So, I mean, seeing the progress and since I've stepped into the athlete director role, just from day one with an athlete at their assessment all the way up is kind of, I mean, that's small wins every single day I walk in here. Yeah. You know?
That's awesome. Good. So what have you been looking forward to either in your own development or in the progress or trajectory of the things that we've been working on here at Peak? What are some of the things that got you excited? What are you looking forward to?
I'm really excited about the metabolic testing. Okay. I don't know if I'm the only person who said that. I have a feeling that I'm not, but that is right up my alley. That's exactly what I was doing at Ohio State for like the last 4 out of 5 years I was there.
Yeah.
But it's something that I can probably do backwards, forwards, and upside down. It's one of my like really, really good data can come from that. That goes way beyond like whatever numbers on the scale. Yeah. Because that coming from a position where you can actually have it in like a Bluetooth, where you can actually not have to hook everything up to a metabolic cart, being able to do that in a different modality is awesome. Yeah. So stay tuned. I don't know who I'm looking at, but stay tuned. Outside of that, I think that's one of the biggest ones. I think between that and getting the basketball hoop that we're gonna be.
Oh yeah. Pushing that. You're pushing that hard, yeah.
Pushing that for about 3 years and some change. Yeah. But no, that, in all seriousness, that's gonna be such a pivotal, that's gonna play a pivotal role in the way that we can really address your actual progression instead of just seeing the weight on the scale or just seeing, body fat percentage. Like, how is it actually ebbing and flowing as you go through a certain type of program versus a different type of program, as you go into different macro cycles and mesocycles and stuff like that. So,
awesome. And when you aren't coaching, what are you doing for fun? What is it that you kind of transition into to cool off, that sort of thing?
I'm always coaching.
Yeah. At home, Kendra!
Here all the time. No. I really like longboarding. I found that out recently. Not recently, but like every summer it comes rolling around, I'm usually out there just kind of skating around Dublin. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I like to work out myself. I like going on walks on the beach. But other than that, I'm pretty open book other than that.
Yeah. What are some of the things that we've been studying lately that you've really enjoyed or you've kind of been diving into personally on your own? Just a little bit more.
I think one of the things that we've been doing as a group that I've kind of recently been digging into is the RPR.
Okay.
And not so much on its merits, just to see where it actually fits into the training session. I think that's something that it does have its place, but I think more of finding exactly when to use it, exactly who to be using it on, and where in the actual session it needs to be done is something that I've kind of been toying around with. Does it need to be happening near the end when conditioning is happening, or does it need to set the tone right off the bat?
Yeah.
And when it does set the tone, is it for the actual training session, or is it for this particular lift? Is it for? And so that's one of the things that I've really been kind of messing around with on my own, but I've slowly started to integrate into my clients to see if they're having any kind of different effects than I would.
Positive
because
responses.
I'm just one person. It could be just me. So
Nice. Somebody new is coming into the gym. They are interested in training. They walk in, they see you. What do you want them to know about you before you ever even talk to them?
I think, that's a tough question. I think one of the things that I want every single one of my clients to know is whether they're my first session of the day, whether they're my last session of the day, or anything in between, is that I genuinely care about, and that's probably one of the most cliche things that I could say, but I genuinely care about every single one of my clients' success. There's nothing that's going to be taken arbitrarily whenever I'm speaking to them. So when I ask them, how are you feeling today? It's not just to make small talk. It's actually to know exactly where they're at. I think one of the things that we do well as an organization is really trying to meet people where they are, meet our clients where they are, so that we can appropriately meet them at their halfway point. So I think that's one thing that I want everyone to know about me, is that I genuinely do care about your successes a lot more than you probably could ever know.
Yeah. And one thing that I feel like is a good thing to talk about, what do you feel like is different about training at Peak as opposed to some of the other places that are around, their ideas, their methods? Like, what is it that you think sets us apart or makes us different, in your own words?
Well, in my own words, I'm going to use something that Bobby used to me that you actually told him a couple of years ago too. And it's crazy because it's true. It's not even like it's not even like a false statement. It's like, this is a place where we go to work on ourselves, whether that's the client who's working on whatever goal they're working on, or whether it's the coaching staff. I mean, we meet every Thursday to get better as coaches. This is a lab to get better at whatever you need to get better at. I think taking the time to learn about ourselves is something I've never done in another place. It helps me understand who can I really teach to and who am I not teaching well to, and how can I get better at teaching well to them. I'm an extrovert, very clear. Thanks. Hi. It's very clear though, but that could either be thought of as like way too much to an introvert where they close their shell even more, or I can learn to actually teach to them. That's something I've never gone. I mean, I've worked at 3 other gyms and they've never asked me to take a personality test before. But it helps me not only speak to my clients, but also speak to the other staff. How are they going to respond to questions that I have about their particular training program? Is there a way that I can structure it so that way it's easier for them to understand that it's coming from the point of curiosity, not as, why the hell are you doing that? You know? And so that sets us apart. I mean, in between that and like, I mean, everyone's really focused on training. And I mean, we talk about that being such a small facet. If you train, 3-4 times a week, let's say it's an hour each time, that's 1-2% of your week. 98% of your week is not done in these walls. So the facets about your mindset, like your brain is always listening to what you have to say, so why not put some good stuff into it? Is something that you'd never hear at another place. Or we talk about nutrition. Everyone wants to have the perfect diet, but it's like, again, it's meeting yourself where you are. Everyone wants to be able to just train really hard, because there's that old school mindset of like, every workout needs to kick my ass, but it's not the truth. And so understanding why that's not the truth is something that you don't get other places. Stuff like sleep, stress management, everything that we go over on a day-to-day with every one of our clients is something you don't get at insert box name gym here. So that's a huge one.
Love it. Final thoughts, pearls of wisdom, anything that you would share with somebody coming in off the street for the first time or watching this video going, you know what, I like that guy.
I like that guy. Well, pearls of wisdom. That's a tough one. Drink your water.
Cool.
Work on your mobility. Work on your mobility. That's a big one. I feel like people often train with purpose but don't recover with purpose. It needs to be I'm about to say it needs that. It's like trying to. What did I say? It was trying to race a car on 8 cylinders when it actually runs on 12. Yeah, it'll run, but it's not going to race. And so. Work on your mobility. It's probably not your back, it's probably your tight hamstrings. Take your shoes off. Your foot shouldn't look like this. So that's a big one. I think those are my, I think I'm kind of talking at myself as if the camera's pointing at me, but yeah, those are, don't get into a position that I've gotten myself into. Like work on your limitations, don't let them set you.
Love it. Cool. All right, there you go. That's Coach Rob. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll talk to you later. See you in the gym.